Good day and welcome to our Python class for today. So last class we talked about introduction installation of Python. So today we'll be moving to Python variables. So now what do we mean by the word Python variable? So a variable is a name location used to store data in the memory. So also it's helpful to think of variable as a container that hold data that can be changed later. For example, a data can if you can call a variable is like a storage device, just used to store values or store information. Then later we can call for information back just to get what we need from it. So that's just one by the word variable. For example, let's say I'm having something like a name equals to Aura Academy. So now this name is the variable. Why Aura Academy is the value assigned to the variable. And we're using this equals to assign the value to the variable. Also, you can also have age is equals to 45. So now when we have age equals to 45, also we are assigning 45 to the variable age. So and also, but the way we do show an output of a variable is different from the way we do print a string. Last time when I printed hello, what we do was print. We put a quote hello watch. So the reason we are putting this quote is because this is a string. A string is a character or alphanumeric characters, which we're going to talk about. I think that will be our next topic. So now we're dealing with this now. So by the time I click on run module, we'll be having hello world right here. But that's not what we want. What we want is that for us to be able to show the values inside our variable. So what we just do is print, just cover for the variable name without putting a quote. So we're clicking on run now, run module. Now I'm having Aura Academy, which so calling for this variable now is to print out the value. So that's what variable means. So now next one we're talking about is changing the values of variable. So let's say I'm having let's use this name equals to Aura Academy. So I'll say print name. So let me comment this also. It won't affect what we want to do now. So what we say by commenting is that whenever we comment, Python will ignore that line. It won't run or do anything with that line. So print name. So by running this now, I'll be having just Aura Academy. Aura Academy. So now let's also come here now. It say name should be equals to IO. So now I'm going to say print name. So now we're having two values of for name or academy and also IO. So which of these two will be printed out? So now let's see. So let me comment this now. What I want now is this is the last value for this. So I want to see what this name will give us now. So by running this now, I'm having just IO because Python only obeys the last variable name. So this is the first one. So Python we take in the last one given to it. So that's what Python does. So the next one I want to talk about is assigning multiple values to multiple variables. So how to assign multiple values to multiple variables. For example, let's say I'm having name, age, and school. So instead of me typing it one by one like this, name equals to IO, age equals to 18, and then school equals to UI So instead of me doing this one by one, what I just do is call for name, comma, age, comma, school equals to Ayo, comma, 18, comma, UI. So I'm using the comma to separate each of the variables, and also using comma to separate each of the values. So Ayo here will be going for name, age will be going for 18, and then school will be going for UI. The first to the first, second to the second, third to the third. So I can print any, let's say print school. Just to differentiate these two, let me change the name of this school. Let me just use, okay, now, so by running this now, I'll be having this because now, so now instead of me typing it line by line, so I can just do everything on a single line. So then assigning multiple values to multiple variables. And then also, we can also assign single value to multiple variable. So just assign a single value to multiple variable, but also in just a single line. So if I just say A is equals to B is equals to C. Now everything is equals to 35. So now the value for A, B, and C is now equals to 35. So I can now say print A or print C. Oh, sorry. So I can run this now. Okay, let me comment this out. Now we're in 35, 35 because A and C are both the same. So it's 35, C is also 35. So now let's talk about some rules guiding variable naming. The first rule is constant and variable name should have a combination of letter in lowercase and or uppercase or digits or an underscore. So normally in our English alphabet we are having 26 alphabets, but in Python we are having 26 times 2 alphabets. So the reason for that is because capital letter and small letter are two different cases in Python. There are two different letters. Small letter is different from the capital letter A. Lowercase of C is different from uppercase of for C. So, and also we're having different way for writing our variable name in Python. The first one we have in the snake case. Second one we have in the macro case. The third one we have in the camel case. And the third one we have in the cap word. So now, first of all, for the snake case, we write the snake case is written in this manner. Okay, let me just put it in front of it. So let's say I'm using the key with the first name as an example. This FIRSTNAME. So now for snake case, we do separate two words with underscore because in Python we're not allowed to put space in between a variable name. A variable name must be all together. So for example, now for our snake case for our snake case, we're going to have in, for example, first FIRST underscore the same way we have in underscore name. Just the same way we have in it here, snake case. Snake underscore case. Also, we are also having for macro case. So macro case is also similar to snake case, but difference is just that it is all in capital letter. So FIRST underscore name. Also, our camel case So camel case is different from snake and macro case. So camel case is like this: FIRST first. Now the next word will be we start with capital letter name. Also, assuming we want to use the word next of kin, it will be NEXT, capital letter O for off, capital letter K for kin. So each of the new word we are adding will be starting with capital letter before we write the rest of the characters for that word. Cap word. So cap word is having capital letter from scratch. Now that the first word will be small letter, no, the first word will be capital letter, and then we continue everything all together. So let's say we're having FIRST first and then name, just like this. So these are the 4 different ways you can write your variable. You can use in naming your variable. So let's comment this out. So using the multi-line comments, so I'm commenting that out. So that's just the first rule. Now the second rule is telling us that you can create a name that makes sense. So whenever we're naming a variable, we should always use a name that makes sense. For example, now we are given that vowels make more sense than V. For example, let's say I want to call for vowel. So instead of calling for vowel, I just say V is equals to E. No one understand what I mean by V is equals to E. Or let me say A, comma E, comma I, comma O, comma U. So no one will understand what I mean by just V equals to A. A layman will not understand what I mean by that. So that's why you just come to say vowel is equals to, can now say A, E, I, O, U. So anybody reading this now will know that we're talking about vowel, not you just using V. But now also something like this, age is equals to 49, 48. So we're going to say X is equals to 48. Or just say A is equals to 48. No one understands what I mean by the word A or X. So rather using, so that's we also use age is equals to 48. So that people reading your code, or even if you are coming to read to take a code in the future, so you can understand what you are referring to. So now the third rule is telling us that if you want to create a variable name, we should always put an underscore. We should always separate it whenever writing a variable name. We should always separate them. So, but normally it's not compulsory to use underscore. We cannot go for the camel case or the cap word case. But the most common use case here is that the snake case and the camel case. That's the most common use case in the using Python. So just whenever you want to write a variable having 2 words, try to use a demarcation. Either go for one of the case, the camel case or snake case. And if you like, you can go for macro or the cap word case. That's third rule. Now the fourth rule is saying use a capital letter is possible. Use a capital letter to declare constants. So now we are talking about variables. Now we also have what we call constants inside variables. So what constant is used for is constant is just used like the same word in our mathematics. Constant means constant simply tells us that the value is static. The value is not changing. And the example of that we are having right here is the pi, that's 3.17, so on. Gravitation, mass, a mass of an object, speed of light, temperature of an object, or temperature in general. So this can be, so whenever we're dealing with constant, we use capital letter or true. That's why if you're writing a variable name, you are advised not to use capital letter or true. The fifth rule is never use symbols whenever you are naming your variable. Never use symbols whenever you are naming a variable. So, for example, symbols like exclamation mark, the @ the hashtag, the $sign, the percentage, and so on. But the only symbol you can use is the underscore, because underscore is used for demarcation whenever we are writing in Python. And also the last rule, which is the sixth rule, is never start a variable name with a number. Never start a variable name with a number. So a variable name cannot start with a number, but a number can be in between or at the end of a variable. Take note of that. So I cannot write first, let me use 4 house equals to, and then bright, but I can write house 4 equals to is allowed. So let me say wrong. This is right. RIGC. So also you can also write for FIRST first. I can put an alphabet in between it, name. But don't use this to demarcate. I'm only using this to explain. Don't use the number for as the demarcation. But you just use an underscore. So RIGH. So a number can be in between a variable name or after a variable name, but cannot be before a variable name. Please take note of that in naming your variable. So that's all about Python variable for today's class. So the next class will be moving to data types, which that we're talking about different kind of data types we have, how to use them, and then when they are used. So thank you for attending to this class, and please like, comment, and subscribe.